Hey, Jolly Green 1990 here today to talk about my One Piece Post Wano bounty predictions for the Straw Hat crew. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what I think Luffy, Kid, and Law's bounty should be, as Oda already given them a 3 billion bounty by the time of this video, which was chapter 1053. I want to talk my opinion. I think Luffy directly earned that, as Kaido has a bounty of 4.6 billion. I didn't think Oda was going to give him a bounty greater, and considering in Onigashima, that's what we're focused on, not the whole one, just Onigashima, for talking about all the characters and the bounties I think they should get. That's directly all he did. This main thing was to go after and beat Kaido. I'm okay with Law getting a 3 billion, but honestly, I think he would deserve slightly less. And the Kid as a character, I think he's come a long ways. I still think, looking at the top 3 of the supernovas, you have Luffy, Law, and Kid. As Law and Kid did not use Conqueror's Haki, or they didn't use the Rio, from what we could see. It might be different coming out in the anime, so they would show more, but from what you could see reading the manga, which I follow the anime and I read the manga. So based on that, I think the 3 billion is okay for Luffy. The only thing is Kid and Law. I still think Law is stronger than Kid. His awakening is insane. Like Kid's awakening, that was cool. I just would have liked to see more either Conqueror's Haki or a little more stronger Rio or Haki or something. Moving on, I'm going to talk about my man Zoro, as I got recently talked about my man Luffy. So for this video, I'm going to focus strictly on the feats and what they did at Onigashima. And I've got the entire crew here. So, Zoro assisted in the fight against Kaido, so the Roof Piece 5, Kid, Law, Luffy, Zoro, and Killer. He also defeated someone with a 1.3 billion berry bounty. He used Enma. In the anime, they showed him starting to use Conqueror's Haki coding. Not a lot, they just showed the fact that he had it as when he scarred Kaido. They're like, oh, you have Conqueror's Haki too. He didn't code anything you could see, but the fact that Kaido mentioned that. So the fact that he scarred Kaido and he defeated King, but as shown in Alabasta, when you defeat someone greater bounty, that doesn't mean you get a bounty greater than, not always. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And so the tricky part is Sanji, because there was a gag going like, oh, Zoro was stronger than Sanji because his bounty is higher, then Sanji was stronger. The wings of the Pirate King, I think they're both going to be right at that pedestal. And so to me, based on the fact he defeated King, he scored Kaido, I would like to think anywhere from 1 billion to 1.5. I do think, moving on to Sanji should have slightly less or should have equals, based on the fact that Queen was 1.32 billion. I think Sanji should either have a 1 billion, 1.4, or Zoro and Sanji at 1 bill. So Zoro, final answer, 1 bill. Sanji, final answer, 1 bill. Moving on to Jinbei. So Jinbei defeated Who's Who, and he assisted Raizo and putting out the fire. Who's Who has a bounty of 546 million berries. The fact that Jinbei, in my opinion, would kind of be the next from Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, what I consider one of his possible commanders. I think he needed to have a higher bounty than 500 bill, as you're going to have some other characters I'll talk about next that I think will be close to that. And the fact that you have Perrin, who's 700 bill, I think Jinbei could defeat Perrin or would have a close battle. So that in mind, I think he should have anywhere between a 600 to 750 million berry tops. If you want to put him like 600, fine, but I really believe anywhere between 700 and 750. Jinbei final answer 750. Just because again that's because he used hockey, he used Fishman karate. So moving on to Robin. Robin defeated Black Maria, who has 480 million. I'm going to strictly focus on her beats, what she did in this arc. Do I think her knowledge makes her dangerous? Absolutely. Do I think it should catapult her ahead for her bounty? Yes. But do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I think it's going to focus on who she defeated and what she did in this arc. What she did specifically on Onigashima. So, looking at that, Black Maria had 480 million. So I think Robin should have anywhere between 500 million to 550, considering she had, you could say it was an awakening, you could say it's hockey. It was hard to tell what Demon Flora is. She also used Fishman karate. So looking at that and looking at the fact that she either used hockey or she did an awakening, I would say she should be at least 500, 550, because the next person who will be close to that, in my opinion, the crew would be Frankie, as he defeated someone who's Sasaki at 472 million, and I don't feel comfortable putting Frankie and Robin at the same level combat-wise. I think Frankie's got potential. So, moving back to Robin just a second. Robin, 520 million berries. Frankie defeated Sasaki, and he has took out one or two of the numbers. Sasaki has a bounty of 472 million. Frankie in this fight was phenomenal. I liked his fight in Dressrosa, but it wasn't my favorite, as I thought his fight with Senior Pink should have been more, because it was a brawl, and you see a lot of Frankie's technology. In this fight we did. We saw the Iron Frankie, the Iron Shogun. He stayed it for the most. It was the last part where he shot out. And then he didn't have his body actually damaged, and so he didn't have to really duke it out. And so I still think it was not an easy fight, but it was a decent fight, at the point that he actually didn't get fully scruffed up, and it was a barrel fight. So I don't feel comfortable putting him at 500, as we didn't see any hockey. Hockey comes and goes, you say, but if you're going to be at 500 to me, you got to have some kind of hockey. You got to show it. Or awakening. Hockey awakening to me. And so, Frankie, we didn't see those. He doesn't have a Delph that we know of. I would say 400, 450. No, I don't feel comfortable putting men lower than 300, but not 500. Certainly between, I'd say, 350 to 400. So I'm going to say 420 million berries, Frankie. Brooke. Tricky one. Love Brooke. I thought he did phenomenal in Whole Cake and Onigashima as a support role character. Would I like to see more of a one-on-one fight? Yes. You could say he fought a number. He could fought Black Maria's dog / guy who ate fruit that allowed him to fire. I don't think that was an actual good one-on-one fight if it's a one-on-one fight. I also don't think his strength-wise that he's in the 400 mil. A lot of people would have liked to see him fight a Pooh, which would have been cool. I don't think he's quite that strong yet. So to me, I would put him either 190 mil or 250. So let's go 220 million Brooke finals. Usopp and Nami. I'm going to kind of do them together because they're tricky. Because you could say together or separately, Usopp defeated Page 1, who has a bounty of 290 mil. Alti, who has a bounty of 400 mil. Usopp and Nami both helped Tama take out the gifters. If Oda decides to use the gag where essentially Usopp goes upwards, he can go higher. But I'm hoping he doesn't. And I'm thinking he won't. I'm thinking maybe Usopp 300 mil, 320. And I love Usopp. I love that he's kind of feeling upwards. To me, he's kind of like a Buggy character. He says a lot and then it happens, but Buggy looks out for number one. Still a cool character, but he looks out for number one. Usopp genuinely cares about his friends, in my opinion, and then he bails. He'll come back and try to help them later on. And so, looking at 300 mil, we know, do I think he could take someone out? Yes, but it would be hard. I was hoping for more hockey development as the Dresseurs we saw a glimpse, and I think that'll come at Elbath. That's why I think he might eventually be able to fight the ability to people with 500 mil, but not at this time. So to me, Usopp, 300 million berries. Nami had a major power up with Zeus. She did have help taking out Ulti, Big Mom, Usopp, however you want to call it. I do think at this point with Zeus, Nami's probably slightly stronger than Usopp. You could argue either way, but in my opinion, she could probably be slightly stronger. I like Usopp more than Nami. Yes, I am. Robin's the best girl. I think she's amazing, but sorry, going back to Usopp and Nami. 320 mil. Final answer. Sorry. Yeah, million berries. Final answer. Chopper. I'm going to look at two things. Little Chopper, Reindeer, or Raccoon Chopper, and Big Chopper. I still think they're going to keep the gag going with Little Chopper. So it'll probably be 500 berries. I do think eventually they're going to get wise and consider all of his formations as one character. That I'm honestly thinking it would be cool with me if they do a bounty for Little Chopper and a bounty for Big Chopper when he whacked around Green. Because I've seen some people say, well, the government saw him in his big form. They're going to think, he took out, he at least knocked him around. He should get a decent money. If they're going to give him something for that big form, maybe anything, I would say 25 million berries at this time. Definitely worth more, but maybe it's starting. But if they do it, even if they still recognize all as one, they might still just keep the gag going with 500 berries. Chopper, 500 berries. I'm going to look at two other characters next, so Yamato and Killer. Yamato, to me, is stronger than Zoro and Sanji, based on the fact that it looked like she was using Conqueror's coding against Kaido. She fought him, she held him off for a while. It all depends on what the government reports about Yamato. I think for her first bounty, she'll probably get, if she gets a bounty, anywhere between 200 to 500 million. I would like her to get between 1 billion to 1.5 billion. I think with the ability to keep Kaido at bay, has an awesome devil fruit strength, and her Conqueror's coding, she's worth it. But it depends on what angle Oda wants to take the character. Last but not least, Man Killer. Said, I like Kid, I like his crew members. I thought Killer's story from Wano, the whole, and into Mishima was wonderful. How he didn't a smile fruit to see the ability to then, for help Kid, and then ends up just having to laugh all the time, and he used to hate his laugh, and they would actually beat up and kill people who made fun of Killer's laugh. So that to me was wonderful to see. So for feats, he was one of the Rupees top 5. So I think that alone, yes, he didn't use hockey that we could see, but he did internal damage to Kaido, which I think was awesome with his size. He did defeat, we don't know if he's ever assuming, is that Hawkins, who's worth 320 million. I don't think he should be higher than Jinbei or Sanji, but considering he is the right-hand man of Kid, who's now 3 billion, I would say definitely stronger than Robin, maybe not stronger than Jinbei. So 550 to 600 mil. 550 million to 600 million berries. Killer. That concludes my post Wano bounty predictions for the Straw Hat crew. Next few weeks I might do a commander video. I think as Luffy's stepping into the role of a Yonko, he should have commanders, and I think it should be Zoro, Sanji, Yamato, Jinbei, and then maybe Robin. I will discuss that more at a later date. Drawing Green 1990 signing off.